Right now on CBS News Bay Area, stunning allegations of abuse. A woman now suing a South Bay school district, claiming the district turned a blind eye after she reported she was sexually assaulted by one of her teachers.
Then the changes being proposed at a West Portal bus station where a family of 4 was killed.
And a legal battle is on between San Francisco and Oakland. The new move over Oakland's plan to rename its airport.
And as we mark 118 years since the deadly 1906 earthquake, we look ahead at the steps still being taken by the city to protect people from the next one.
From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Evening Edition.
Well, a former South Bay High School student is seeking justice more than 20 years after she says she was sexually assaulted by a teacher. Good evening. I'm Ryan Yamamoto.
And I'm Elizabeth Cook. The teacher she's accusing, 56-year-old Sean Thomas. San Jose police made the arrest last month, and this week, the victim filed a complaint against the school district.
Our Amanda Harry spoke with the victim's lawyer and sister about her fight.
The victim, who is listed as Jane Doe on the criminal complaint, says she went to the dean when she was 15 and says she did nothing. Now she wants to hold the school district accountable for what happened.
It has impacted every facet of her life.
Lauren Sari is the attorney representing the victim in this case. She says she met the victim about a month ago. Since then, she learned everything about her case.
She was 15 years old. She did something very brave and something that took a lot of strength and courage, and she reported it. She was very clear about it, that Mr. Thomas was having sex with her at 14, 15 years old. She was a freshman in high school. This is 2003.
Sari was given Lee High School yearbooks from the victim. There's a photo of the suspect, Sean Thomas. He was both a teacher and a coach. In the staff and administration section, a photo of his wife at the time, Sarah Thomas, listed as a dean. That's who the victim says she reported the abuse to. Sari says Dean Thomas's reaction was shocking.
Said, I can't believe you did this to me after everything that I've done for you. So that is why most people remain silent, because they're not believed and they're victim blamed. And that's exactly what happened here.
In the criminal complaint, some of the sexual encounters happened on campus, in Thomas's portable classroom, and in a storage room in the boys' locker room. The complaint also says they were once caught in the act by the dean. In a statement to CBS News Bay Area, the district did not say whether Sarah Thomas is still employed by the district, but a Sarah Thomas is still listed on the staff directory. The district did say there is a different leadership in place now than there was in 2002-2003, and they're taking these allegations seriously and cooperating with the investigation. Sari says when Doe was 15, she became pregnant with Thomas's baby, and he forced her to abort it.
What a burden for a child. And she was 16 weeks by the time she was able to actually bring herself to do it, but he insisted that she do it. She really didn't have a choice.
Doe's sister spoke to us by phone. She asked to have her voice distorted to protect her identity.
For so many years, my sister thought it was her fault. She felt so much shame and guilt, especially after being forced to abort her child. Mrs. Thomas blamed her, so she blamed herself. She is now, for the first time after 20 years, coming to the realization that she was just a child. The school district failed to protect her. They protected him instead. It wasn't right, and they need to be held accountable.
Thomas was arrested on March 8th by San Jose police. At the time of his arrest, he was still working at Lee High School and Los Gatos High School. Sari says she questions why they protected Thomas over protecting a child.
You wonder why, right? And you see that he was an acclaimed coach. It was a prestigious program. He was, coach of the year multiple years in a row. And you wonder, were they protecting the image and reputation of that program and the school?
Based on the attorney's investigation, she believes there could be more victims. Anyone with any information is asked to contact SJPD.
And San Jose police arrested 49-year-old Duc Nguyen, 50-year-old Kim Ho, and 30-year-old Dayton Pham in connection to the kidnapping and torture of a man in East San Jose. Police say the victim was tortured for 2 straight days, then was released. He spoke to a neighbor who lived next door to those suspects.
There were a lot of things going on, that they play music pretty loud. And I kind of talked to the owner of the house in a bit, and she apologized to me that the music was too loud for my daughters, and she was concerned about it, and that's the last interaction with her.
Those suspects have been booked into the Santa Clara County Jail, now being held without bail.
Oakland police are investigating a deadly shooting involving one of their officers. It happened when Sacramento police asked for help to arrest a homicide suspect at a home at 16th and Adeline Streets. Officers say the suspect came out of the home pointing a gun, and that's when Oakland officers shot the suspect, who died at the scene. The officers are now on administrative leave. We're learning a Livermore couple and their 2 children were killed in a fiery crash in Manteca over the weekend. This video shows the moments Good Samaritans rushed to help when a minivan flew off the freeway and then burst into flames. CHP says it happened Saturday night when the driver lost control and crashed. There were 7 people trapped inside. People ran out of their homes and cars to help, including a group of high schoolers in their formal wear heading home from prom. They flipped that car over and saved the lives of 3 children.
There were 3, right? I think it's 3 that survived, and they would not have survived if everybody had not jumped into action when they did.
2 of the Livermore victims killed were in their 40s, along with a 12-year-old child and a baby. A legal battle between 2 of the Bay Area's international airports. San Francisco now suing Oakland over a plan to add the words San Francisco Bay to its name. And Oakland is not backing down. Our Ann Makovic has been following this story for us all day long and just spoke to San Francisco City Attorney about this now official legal move. Ann?
Yeah, the federal lawsuit was filed today claiming trademark infringement. San Francisco City Attorney says if Oakland's airport has San Francisco Bay in its name, the entire region will suffer the damage. Neither of these airports is in San Francisco, but they both claim the right to use the name. And now it's up to a federal court.
We do think that this litigation is a waste of taxpayer resources. If Oakland had chosen to engage with us, we would not be here.
While officials with the Port of Oakland say they're just trying to clear up confusion over their airport's location, which sits on the San Francisco Bay, San Francisco City Attorney David Chu says it could cause travel chaos.
We are concerned about travelers who are going to miss their flights, have mishaps, suffer economic loss. We're concerned about the reputational damage to the Bay Area when it comes to the travel experience.
At least one airline, Azores, has begun using the new name on their flight reservation system, which Chu says means that SFO has already suffered economic harm.
The name that they have chosen appears to be intentional to divert travelers that would otherwise be going to SFO.
In a statement, the Port of Oakland said the renaming does not infringe upon SFO's mark. We will vigorously defend our right to claim our spot on the San Francisco Bay. We are standing up for Oakland and our East Bay community. But San Francisco has owned and invested in the federal trademark for San Francisco International Airport for 70 years. And while the legal wrangling begins, the Court of Public Opinion is already in session. Oakland Vice Mayor Rebecca Kaplan posting recently, how about if we call ours sunny side of the bay and they can call theirs Millbrae, which is where SFO is actually located. Of course, the theory of airport name appropriation is not anything new. Take the Fresno Yosemite International Airport, which is about 2.5 hours from Yosemite. As for the goal of this lawsuit, San Francisco wants Oakland to immediately stop using the new name, as well as potential damages and fees. Liz.
All right, and San Francisco transit officials now working to improve safety at the West Portal intersection, the site of where a family of 4 was killed during a deadly collision. Under proposed changes, the city would restrict left-hand turns through the intersection, a move intended to protect pedestrians.
Here in San Francisco, on a typical year, about 40% of our traffic deaths are a result of drivers making left turns and not seeing pedestrians in the crosswalk.
The changes could also include adding more space for pedestrians to cross. The next step is to gather community input before sending the plan to the SFMTA board.
Meanwhile, a settlement has been reached in the case of the woman accused of fatally striking a 4-year-old child in a stroller on King Street in San Francisco last August. In a statement, DA Brooke Jenkins says the case will not go to trial per the family's wishes and instead agreed that the driver serve 400 hours of community service and complete a driver safety class with a no driving condition until the class is completed. She added that she hopes the settlement will bring the family some solace as they work to heal and rebuild.
2 adults and a juvenile now behind bars for stealing more than $10,000 worth of merchandise from the Valley Fair Mall in San Jose. They were identified as 19-year-old Dana Parjano and 22-year-old Andres Diaz. The juvenile was not identified. Police say along with getting caught stealing the stolen merchandise, another $12,000 worth of goods was found inside their car.
Retail theft is an issue prosecutors across the state are trying to get a handle on. It's unusual. They're called so-called flash mob robberies. Leslie Marin has more.
Watch as a mob of people wearing masks and hoodies run into a WSS shoe store. As quickly as they get in, they get out, but this time with piles of clothes and shoes in hand.
Where they are in and out generally in under a minute or so.
Lieutenant Michael McComas heads LAPD's Organized Retail Crime Task Force. He's seen many videos like this of flash robberies. What makes this one unique? He says the suspects could be as young as 15 years old and may even attend LAUSD schools near the stores they're targeting.
What we've discovered is they are riding bicycles, BMX-style bicycles, to the areas where the stores are that they're targeting.
LAPD says the mob of 10 to 20 suspects may be responsible for a robbery a week since March 3rd. So far, police say they have targeted only WSS shoe stores, 2 in historic South Central, 1 in Boyle Heights, and another in the Southgate area. We went to 2 of the locations, but employees could not speak on camera.
I'm tired of it. Everyone I talk to, we're just tired. So what is the solution?
LA native April Moore blames flash robberies on the lack of accountability. She fears if it continues, retailers will continue to pull out of communities, especially low-income ones.
There are barely enough retail stores as it is. If you keep having this, no one wants to be in these areas.
According to McComas, his team of officers have seen a drop in flash robberies across the city.
We have not had any major incidents since, I would say, November, to be honest.
Which is why they're now blasting these videos to the public.
So that we can, 1, get the crime stopped, and 2, work with the families of these young people to, hopefully help them to get their kids to stop doing this.
California Attorney General Rob Bonta was in Oakland today to talk about the state's housing crisis. He says it comes down to the same issue we've been facing for years now. Cities just aren't building enough new housing units. California set a goal to build 2.5 million new homes by 2030. But he says right now we're on pace to fall well short of that goal.
You don't need me to tell you the crisis that we're in when it comes to homelessness, when it comes to housing unaffordability in the state of California. We're in a full state of crisis, full state of emergency.
Bonta says the state will also focus on making sure renters are protected from unlawful evictions or discrimination.
Well, Foster City celebrating some everyday heroes, shining a light on first responders and bystanders who stepped in during emergencies and saved lives. During a ceremony, 7 survivors shared their stories, saying thank you to the people who stepped up during their moments of need.
I just wanted to say that I wouldn't be alive here without the first responders.
So the 2 right people happened to be there at the right time.
She was there. She got up and she grabbed that AED and she saved my life.
Fire officials pointed out that in any link in the chain of helpers was missing, those stories could have had a much different ending. Still ahead, the lessons learned from San Francisco's 1906 earthquake and the efforts still underway to protect lives for the next one.
Then fire crews rescuing 2 dogs who went over the side of a cliff at Fort Funston.
And ahead of Earth Day, we look at some of the endangered plants right here in the Bay Area and efforts underway to try and save them.
Unseasonably warm weather again today for most of the Bay Area, except along the coast. The fog is starting to spread back out. It's going to be widespread across the Bay Area by tomorrow morning. You can already see it getting organized as we look to the west from Salesforce Tower. We'll track that fog and take a look at the weekend forecast coming up in First Alert Weather.